Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be discussing the very interesting current state of shotguns in Fortnite. I've played Fortnite pretty seriously since the very beginning, which was about 2 years ago, and I really believe that the current pool of shotguns is the weirdest that I've ever seen. And when I say that, I don't want you guys to immediately think that weirdest actually means worst. There have been some really bad shotgun metas in Fortnite history, and I don't think what we currently have is as bad as any of those. What I mean by weird is that usually the Fortnite community sees every individual shotgun meta as either clearly good or clearly bad. For example, back in Season 9 when there were only 2 shotguns available, the super overpowered combat and the super underpowered tac, pretty much everybody knew that was horrible. On the flip side, back in Season 4 when you could use 2 shotguns, there were so many viable combinations like double pump, pump heavy, heavy tac, etc. So pretty much everybody loved that. But with the current shotgun meta so far in Season X, there are some parts of it that are really good, but then you also have things that are really bad, which I'm hoping will be changed in the near future. So without further ado, let's get into a little more detail about that. Alright, so let's start this video off in a positive manner by talking about the good aspects of the current state of shotguns. The most obvious thing that jumps out at me right away is that for the first time in a while, there are 3 different really good and really usable shotguns in Fortnite, and technically that number may even be 4. So the 3 obvious ones are all rarities of the combat shotgun, all rarities of the pump shotgun, and the somewhat recently added purple and gold versions of the tac shotgun. The less obvious shotgun that I also believe is usable and in certain situations can compete against the other 3 is the double barrel shotgun. Now I'm not totally sure if that should actually count since as of right now it only spawns in Tilted Town, and there's probably a decent chance that it's more of a limited time thing, but let's just include it anyway. If you guys have watched a lot of my videos in the past, you'll probably know that I'm always a big supporter of each weapon category in Fortnite having multiple different viable options. And I believe that should always be the case because of 2 different yet equally important reasons. First off, if one weapon in a specific category is so much better than all the other options, if you don't get lucky enough to find that weapon in a game, you're gonna be at a huge disadvantage, totally due to you having bad RNG. And the perfect example of that is what I mentioned a little earlier. In Season 9, if you didn't find a combat shotgun, and you fought against a player who did find one, you were pretty much screwed because of something totally out of your control. The other reason why it's so crucial to have multiple options is because not everybody is good with or prefers the same types of weapons. As you're seeing right now with the current pool of shotguns, some players prefer the fast fire rate and range of the combat shotguns, while other players will opt for the higher damage potential of the pump or double barrel shotgun. Speaking of the combat shotgun, that's another positive thing that I want to point out here. It seems that after about 4 to 5 different nerfs, the combat shotgun is finally at a point now where it's no longer an absolutely dominant weapon. I know some people may disagree with me on that because I'll still see people complaining about it and calling it overpowered from time to time. But I think even if it is still the best shotgun in the game, it's by a small enough margin where I don't think another nerf is something that we absolutely need. For the first time since the very beginning of Season 9 when the weapon was literally glitched, there are times where I'll feel totally underwhelmed while using it. I'll be in a close range fight with an enemy rushing me, and I'll hit him for 50, 60, 55, and then he'll just get right into my body, barrel stuff me with a pump or a purple/gold tack, and hit me for 150 plus damage in a single shot. But at the end of the day, that's kind of the whole purpose of those shotguns that are dominant at point-blank range, so I'm totally fine with that. And even though this video is intended to be more of a discussion about the current state of shotguns, as opposed to ranking the 4 top ones from best to worst, I'm sure at least a few of you guys are wondering, so here's my quick personal opinion on that. Of the 4 good shotguns, I would rank them in the following order. The best is still the combat, although it's by a very slim margin, then the pump, then the purple and gold tacks, and finally I think the double barrel is clearly at the bottom of that list. But I think it's a really good sign that not only was this list difficult to make, but also I'm sure a decent amount of you guys out there will disagree with at least one part of it. In a lot of previous shotgun metas, that wouldn't be the case because it would be so blatantly obvious which ones are the best. So I think that covers all the good aspects of shotguns in Season X, so now let's get into the not so good things. Despite there being 4 different shotguns that are very usable, there are also 2 shotguns which are pretty much totally unusable. And those are obviously all the rarities of the drum shotgun, and then the gray, green, and blue rarities of the tack shotgun. I know some people may be thinking, well, you just said that there are 4 different good shotguns, so is it really a big deal that 1 or 2 of the other shotguns aren't very good? And to answer that question, I would definitely say, yeah, it is a big deal. Due to the fact that the bad shotguns are so much more common than the good shotguns, it makes it so that RNG plays such a major role, especially at the beginning of games. If I loot the 2nd level of a house and get a green drum shotgun, and my opponent loots the 1st level of that same house and gets a blue pump, when we inevitably meet in that house and fight, I have almost no chance. Now, I've talked about how bad the gray, green, and blue tacks are before, so I don't want to really repeat that, but this video gives me an opportunity to just absolutely go in on the drum shotgun. Although it may not be the worst weapon in Fortnite history, because that title probably belongs to something like the 6-shooter, the drum shotgun is definitely pretty darn close. And at least for the other horrible weapons like the 6-shooter or scoped revolver, those are pistols, so they're almost expected to be outclassed by every other weapon type in the game. The drum shotgun, on the other hand, is obviously a shotgun, which is a weapon you expect to do really reliable high burst damage per shot at close range. However, the drum shotgun pretty much does the same damage per shot as something like an AR or SMG, unless you're literally touching your opponent's body with the barrel of the weapon. The max damage it can deal in a single body shot is already in the low 50s, and even from just a few meters away, which is definitely still normal shotgun range, you're going to be hitting in the 20s or 30s per shot. I understand that when they added this weapon to the game, they were probably aiming for a type of shotgun that's unique compared to all the others. But the problem is, the only way fast fire rate shotguns will ever work in Fortnite is if they have a lot of range, kinda like the combat shotgun does. No player that's even semi-decent at Fortnite is gonna let you get right in their face, and then shoot 4 to 5 plus shots in a row without building, because even at point blank range, that's seriously what it's gonna take to get a kill with this thing. So this video is going to be released a few days before the next major Fortnite update, which I believe is going to be update 10.10. We're hoping for some really major nerfs to the mechs, and that's obviously getting all the attention, but I think the drum shotgun being vaulted would be so good for the game as a whole. I know they typically don't like to vault newer weapons even if they're super problematic, but the drum shotgun has been in the game for about a month and a half now, so I think it's basically past the grace period at this point in time. Especially because as of right now, there's technically 6 different shotguns in Fortnite when usually there's only 2 to 4, so a vault actually makes a lot of sense in a ton of different ways here. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down the comment section below. I want you to rank the following 4 shotguns from best to worst: the combat, the pump, the purple/gold tack, and the double barrel. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.